Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this segment of Attack Wrap. Matt Sanderson, John Morris here with you in the studio. John, another segment. We're into our third week of Attack Wrap this year. We have a little bit of a different number now for you to call in for the trivia. We'll tell you a little bit about the trivia questions, what you can win. 519-371-3053 is the number, so make sure that you listen for that and you see it on the screen. Call in, you could win some tickets for the October 15th game against the Kitchener Rangers here at home.
Yes, we will be giving away 2 pairs of tickets tonight if we can get the first one given away in a hurry, because we have 2 shows before our next home game, so we'll have 2 sets of tickets to give away. So make sure you give us a call. As Matt said, 371-3053. We'll be happy to give you those tickets, and we'll see you at the rink.
John, we'll kick it off with some highlights first. Obviously, TAC 1-3 so far, heading into their first long road trip of the season. But we'll take a look at some of the highlights here, and you can just give us your opinion on what you saw with some of these plays. So
we'll start the highlights off with the game against Hamilton. Yes, the home opener. Of course, Connor Roberts' return to the Bayshore for the first time ever. You see Petrus Palmu over to Ethan Zapula on the first one, just a minute and a half into the game. And these highlights are going to come very, very fast, as this game got off to one heck of a start. All of a sudden, Hamilton ties it back up. We're still only 2 minutes and change into the first period here at the Bayshore. And then, of course, there is another goal for Hamilton. They take an early 2-1 lead, as you see on the score clock in the top. Just 3 minutes and change now in. And then Owen Sound does get back into this game. They tie it up here. Another man who is in studio with us tonight, Jonah Gadjovich. He gets one there on the breakaway. Palmu into the middle. Back to Petrus. We have Petrus, Palmu, and Jonah Gadjovich in the studio today. So you're seeing a lot of them in this highlight package for sure. Owen Sound takes a 3-2 lead. I still can't believe this all takes place in the first period. You see Nick Price gets on the board there. His first of his OHL career. Still in the first period. Jonah again gets his second of the game, and this is the opening faceoff of the second period. And don't blink, because there's Petrus Palmu. He gets another goal for him. I believe that was just his first of the game, as he got an assist on the play earlier. We get a little later in the game here, late in the second period now. Owen Sound looks to have things comfortably in control. Hamilton makes it 6-3. Still feeling pretty comfortable going into the third period, I would imagine. Tough one for Riley Daniels. He came in relief 3 minutes and 7 seconds into this one, and gives up one there that you can tell by his reaction he couldn't see, to make it 6-4. And I think this was 22 seconds later. Hamilton right back in it, 6-5. And then Owen Sound gets a late goal. I think this was when a power play just ended, and Marcus Phillips scores there. That was his second of the game as well. Remember, Marcus Phillips, one of the standout rookies for Owen Sound last year, just 3 goals on the season. However, for the rear guard, but he picks up 2 in that game against Hamilton, and you'll see a little bit more of him in this set of highlights as Guelph gets off to an early lead. Kincardine boy Garrett McFadden with the opening goal. Petrus Palmu late in the first period on a power play, just 15 seconds remaining in the period, ties it 1-1. 2-0 for Guelph in the second. Broken play, a bit of a miscue by Jacob Friend as he overskated the puck just at the opposing team's blue line. That results in the 2-1 goal for Guelph. They then make it 3-1 on this nice backdoor play to Albert McNash, who gets his first OHL goal, coming over in the import draft for Guelph this season. Owen Sound brings it within 1 late. Marcus Phillips on the near side, his third of the year, tying how many he had last year. Very good start to the year for him. I know he's not a big goal scorer, and that's not something that he probably really prides himself on, but the ability to chip in and be able to get pucks through from the point, I'm sure, is very important to him, and he's been good at that early in the season. And then the bank shot empty netter off the boards, which I talked about during the game. I grew up playing at the Bayshore, and that's something that sometimes your coach would pick a guy to do it, and if you missed it, then everyone had to skate 3 hard laps before you left the ice, or had to do 2 suicides before you left the ice, and it was pretty much a rigged drill towards the house, because no one could ever do it. But sure enough, they do it there against Owen Sound to get that 2-goal lead back and wrap up the final game of what was 2-2 nights between Owen Sound and Hamilton the night before. Well, as we talked about, Owen Sound 1-3, going on to a 3-game road trip here. They're going to take their first stop in North Bay. That'll be, I believe, Thursday night. And then Friday they will be in Sudbury.
And then on Sunday night, they will also, or Sunday afternoon, I should say, they will be playing the Sioux Greyhounds. So
you can sort of see it there on the screen. Yeah, North Bay, Sudbury, and then the Sioux. So big 3 and 3.5 for Owen Sound. The OHL, you have a lot of these throughout the year. They're not easy. They're hard. 3 and 3.5 days is a lot of hockey at a very high level. Sometimes the team you're playing on the third day, it's their second game in 3.5 days. So there's obviously a bit of an advantage there. And for Owen Sound, they're going to start with 2 Eastern Conference teams, which we all know the Eastern Conference isn't quite as deep, isn't quite as strong as the West. So they get those 2 first. So it'll be big for them to hopefully capitalize in the first 2 games to give themselves as much of a chance as they possibly can to have to go into the Sioux. And the Sioux's going to be good this year. I had them fairly high in our predictions. I think I had them in 4th in the West. They look good. The solid team, good goaltending. They get Joseph Raymakers back from New York Rangers camp where he was impressive. He made, I think it was 31 stops in a 2-1 win against the Wild. So he had a good camp there, comes back. He picks up 3 wins in 3 games. He also, of course, won the Pioneer Energy Player of the Week this week. Yep. He comes back from that camp. He has 3 starts. I can't recall exactly. The first one was against, second one was against London. He earned second star of the game. I think it was something like 30 saves plus 2 in the shootout to win them a 3-2 win in that one. One note, we did want to make sure we got through to you guys. You might have seen it today on the Attack's Facebook or their Twitter or over the radio. There is a time change on the game on January 28th. It was scheduled for 7. It's against the London Knights. It's getting changed to 3:30, and you won't see me, Matt, and Mark. You'll see the guys from Rogers Sportsnet. They'll be in town to broadcast the game. I think they were in town last year to broadcast the Canada-Russia game, but since then, I think we were talking before the show, it's been since something like 2011 since they were here to do a game. Of course, the year that Owen Sound won the OHL championship and went on to play in the Memorial Cup. So that's obviously big news. Says a lot about what some people are thinking about this team, not just them, but obviously the London Knights too. We know London's always good and they're going to have a good team. Other notes I wanted to pass by you guys. Petrus Palmu, who will be with us momentarily after we go to break. He wins here on Tractor Player of the Week. A big week for him.
Yep. And quickly before we go to break here, Central Scouting on the Attack website. You might have seen today 5 Owen Sound Attack players there. Nick Suzuki, Marcus Phillips, Maxim Sushko, Trenton Bork, and Jonah Gadjovich as well on that list. And like we said, Jonah Gadjovich will be in studio with us as well. So make sure to tune in for more Attack Wrap here. We got a lot going on and trivia questions coming up after the break.